Good morning to all of you. I am going to continue the same polity session. Okay, till now I have covered about NHRC and SHRC. There are only few things which are actually remaining as important one under the topic of SHRC. That is a State Human Rights Commission. I will tell all those facts. Those are only very few facts, but it is necessary to clarify all those things. That's why first of all I will clarify all those about SHRC. Then I will move to today's topic. It will be a session around somehow around 30 minutes. Okay, not more than 30 minutes. So see, yesterday I have covered about a State Human Rights Commission. So I have told you about under which Protection Act SHRC has been established, what is the composition, okay, who is inside that commission, who appointing them, okay, what are the other terms and conditions. But yesterday few things have been remained, that is like salaries and allowances. Okay, so have you remembered about the salaries and allowances of NHRC members? Okay, I have clarified all those things, that the salaries, allowances and the conditions of service of the members of NHRC will be decided by Central Government of India, not by the Parliament of India. In the same way, all the members, that is only 2 members, and the chairperson of a State Human Rights Commission, that is each and every SHRC members, their salaries, allowances and conditions of service are decided not by Legislative Assembly but decided by a state government. See, there is a difference between Government of India and Parliament. In the same way, there is also a difference between a state government and Legislative Assembly. Okay, Parliament doesn't mean Government of India, and in the same way a state assembly doesn't mean government of that state. Okay, because in Parliament all political parties have their representatives as MP, and in a state legislative assembly all political parties, okay, which have won in legislative assembly election have their MLAs in that particular constituent, okay, which one? Constituency one, and in their particular state wise as legislative assembly. So first of all understand this difference. Okay, don't confusion in that Parliament and Government of India is same, not at all. Both are separate things. Okay, because in Parliament even opposition parties leaders came because of only one winning the election of members of Parliament of India, of general election of India. So see, the members of NHRCs and the salaries, see the salaries and allowances and condition of service, all these of the members of NHRC are decided by Central Government of India, not by Parliament. Remember this, this is really an important one. In the same way, you can remember the same, okay, crossing line, that you can keep just SHRC in place of NHRC, and in place of Union Government of India you can keep it as here for SHRC as a state government. That the salaries, allowances and conditions of service of all the members including the chairperson of SHRC will be decided by that particular state, not by means a state government, not by their legislative assemblies. So I hope it is clear. Okay, stated I have not clarified it, that's why I feel that it's become necessary, otherwise many of you will get confusing in it. Okay, so it is the first one. Second one, that is remaining in SHRC. Okay, second one is that I have told you already that actually about re-employment and employment. Are you getting it? That they are eligible for the employment, okay, means reappointment, but doesn't applicable for employment in any further central or state government schemes. Okay, so this is clear to all of you. So I hope these are some remaining facts which are not clarified yesterday. Fine, I think about the last one which I have told you already, right, just few seconds ago, that's one I clarified, but the first thing which I have told you, okay, which was not clarified yesterday, that's why it's become necessary to clarify all these aspects. See, if any other topic I am teaching you, and if in that session if something will remain and I will say that this topic is over, even after that if some special facts will remain, okay, if some will left by me by some mistakes by our team members, even then I will pick those facts in other session too. Okay, so don't worry about it that I have worried about some of the affections of reality of aspects and facts. So I hope it is clear to all of you. So should I move to the next topic, that is according to our today's session of polity session, that is really an interesting one, even contradiction to in nowadays, even nowadays from earlier one itself. Okay, because our Supreme Court itself given a type of judgment under which there is a sentence mentioned about that organization, that body, which I will teach you right now. Okay, that is so in self contradictory. Okay, so let's see and move to the next slide and we will see, and I am introducing you our today's topic, that is CBI. I hope all of you have heard about it. CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation. Okay, Central Bureau of Investigation, many of the aspirants are confusing it. CBI, NIA, National Investigation Agency, CBC, Central Vigilance Commission, IB, Intelligence Bureau, RAW, okay, NSA, fine. So, many of the aspirants are confusing in it. They find that almost all the organizations have same kinds of works. Not at all. NIA has different works, CBI has different works, okay, NCB, that is Narcotics Control Bureau, okay, it's been related to drugs, which was really, okay, in matter even till now. So NCB, CBI, NIA, fine, CBC, IB, RAW, all these have separate functions, separate powers, separate working procedures, not same. Okay, even NIA and CBI is totally different. Both are not like at all. National Investigation Agency. Okay, earlier National Investigation Agency was not in present in India, but because of Mumbai terror attack, it has came in existence. Fine. So I will teach all those aspects. I am just giving an overview so that you have to separate CBI from other related topics. Only then you will get all the aspects, all the facts of CBI. Otherwise, you will get confused. Okay, when I will teach you about NIA, National Investigation Agency, and when I will teach you CBC, Central Vigilance Commission, Intelligence Bureau. Okay, so in these facts and matters you will get confused. That's why I am covering all these and separating CBI from the remaining ones. That is look like similar one. So Central Bureau Investigation, it is the full form of CBI. Okay, its headquarters is in New Delhi. Okay, New Delhi. It was so in the highlighted case when it was two directors, that is Rakesh Asthana and that is Alok Verma. Okay, both are directors. Okay, directors. Okay, one is a special director, one is somehow a director's playing role. So at 12 p.m. Midnight, okay, there was a police, okay, police raid in the itself in the CBI, or it means not you can call it raid, but you can call it that there was an exchange of director in the midnight of that particular date. So that's why CBI is always in news, okay, because of some positive time, because of some negative aspects at some time. Okay, but CBI will do its own work. Okay, CBI will keep its work according to its wish. Okay, in whichever way CBI wants to work, CBI will do their work. Okay, either I will explain that this is wrong or this is right. Okay, but ultimately it will be decided by the Central Bureau of Investigation. So let's see more details about CBI, that what is CBI, when it was established, and what are some historical backgrounds or events, what is the present situation. Okay, today it will not be fully covered this topic. Some of the facts I will cover tomorrow. So let's see and move to the next slide. So let's see. The Central Bureau of Investigation, that is CBI. So CBI was set up in 1963. So definitely it is not a constitutional body. CBI is not a constitutional body, because if CBI was a constitutional body, or if CBI is a constitutional body, then it doesn't need for its setup. Okay, in 1963. If it is a constitutional body, then automatically it derives its power from the Constitution of India, and it will be in regulation just after independence of India. But because it is not a constitutional body, okay, that's why it has been started after the independence of India. So CBI was set up in 1963. Okay, 1963 by resolution of the Ministry of Home Affairs. Are you getting it? Resolution, I have already told you about cabinet resolution. Okay, Union Cabinet resolution. When I was talking about NHRC, I have told you about sorry, not NHRC, when I was talking about Niti Aayog, then I have told you about Niti Aayog is not a constitutional body, not a statutory body, but instead of both of those, Niti Aayog is a body set up by, okay, cabinet resolution, means union cabinet resolution. I have already told the difference between constitutional body, a statutory body, and body set up by union cabinet resolution. Fine. Another thing, if there is a constitutional body, okay, just fine. A, okay, constitutional, sorry, there is a body which is named A, B, C. If A is a constitutional body, B is a statutory body, and C is a, which one? Means body set up by union cabinet resolution. Okay, fine, got it. So if government of India wants to make some changes in body A, which is constitutional body, then there is difficulty to bring some changes. There is much more difficulty to make amendments, to make changes in constitutional body A, because that is a constitutional body. Okay, the body derives its power from the constitution itself. Okay, the source of the body A, the source of the power of body A is the Constitution of India. Fine. So the government needs more power and efficiency to amend and make changes in body A. But what happened to body B? I have already told you, let's assume that body B is not a constitutional body. Body B is a statutory body. Just for assumption, I am giving examples. Okay. So if government wants to make any changes, any amendments in body B, then there is almost a simple majority needed. Okay, in many of the times only simple majority needed from the Parliament of India to make any changes or amendments in body B. There is no so complicated when we compare from constitutional body and statutory body. Means it is easy. Easy means I am just making comparison. Like example, if there is, okay, the simplest examples, okay, one of them. If there is, just assume if there is 30 degrees Celsius temperature right now in your area, okay, 30 degrees Celsius, fine, and just belongs to a city, the next city, okay, the next city has temperatures right now at the same time is 32 degree, fine, and okay, this is city A, this is city B, and this is city number, town number C. If this is temperature 28 degrees Celsius, fine. So if I am comparing, okay, if I am comparing A and B, then I will say that A is cooler than B. It means I will say that A is cool. It doesn't mean that A is cool means A is 10 degree temperature or 2 degrees Celsius temperature. No, I am talking that A is cool. It means A is cool because I am making a comparison of A with someone. A is cool here when we compared with B. Okay, and the same one when A will compared with C, then A is hot. A is hotter than C. Are you getting it? In the same way I am telling you that, okay, if government of India wants to bring any kinds of changes, amendments in constitutional body, then there is much more difficulty. Even Supreme Court can interfere. Okay, Supreme Court can interfere too if government wants to make changes in any constitutional body. But okay, but government can make changes in constitutional body, but there is so difficulty in making changes. But in a statutory body, there is no that kind of rigid process, not so difficulty. Okay, and not so easy too. Okay, it doesn't mean that it is easy, totally easy. I am just comparing it, a statutory body with constitutional body. Fine. So in comparison with constitutional body, there is easy to make changes in a statutory body. Fine. In the same way, if there is a body C, not is a constitutional body and not is a statutory body, the body C is formed by union cabinet resolution, then there is so easy to make changes in body setup name as C by union cabinet resolution. There is too easy when we compared with constitutional body and a statutory body. That's why I have given this example. Okay, I just want to clarify all those things even by giving the simple examples. Even if you are not getting the whole things, okay, it is not your fault. Okay, it is not your fault, because these kinds of facts are looking simple, but when you go in conceptual parts, it's looking somewhat difficult. But when you read the same things again and again, 2 times, 3 times, when you start analyzing by yourself reading, then it will become more clarified to all of you. Okay, so I hope it is clear that CBI was set up in 1963. It is not a constitutional body. It has been set up by a resolution of the Ministry of Home Affairs, means resolution passed by Home Ministry. Okay, fine. So I hope it is clear to all of you. So I am moving to the next slide. Now let's see. Later, okay, means after the period of 1963, after few years, CBI was transferred to the Ministry of Personnel. Okay, personnel. It is called Ministry of Personnel. Okay, Ministry of Personnel is a separate ministry. Like Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Defence, there is a separate ministry that is called Ministry of Personnel Department. Okay, so later, means after 1963, after a few years of 1963, CBI was transferred to the Ministry of Personnel, and now it enjoys the status of an attached office. It means the simple one, it means earlier it was set up by a resolution of Home Ministry, but later it was transferred to Ministry of Personnel. Later it was combined with other laws. Okay, we will get this slide in upcoming, when I will cover upcoming slide. Okay, so I am moving to the upcoming slide, next slide. Okay, in that slide it will become easy to clarify this thing. So that's why I am moving. See, the Special Police Establishment Act, the Special Police Establishment set up in 1941 was also merged with the CBI. Actually, the Special Police Establishment Act, there was a Special Police Establishment Act, okay, that has been started even before the independence of India, set up in 1941. But after the establishment of CBI in 1963, after few years of its establishment, okay, this establishment, that is a Special Police Establishment, is merged with CBI. Merged, both has been merged. Okay, and gone to the Ministry of Personnel. That's why I am moving to the next slide, so that it is clarified to all of you. Otherwise, the previous slide was little bit confusing one. Okay, I hope now it is easier to all of you. Fine. So should I move to the next slide? I am moving. See, the establishment of the CBI was recommended by someone. Okay, it is not like that Government of India awake one day morning and just set up CBI. Okay, not like that, that Home Ministry just running, walking and doing some work and just thinking that we should set CBI and just set up CBI. Not like that. The establishment of CBI was recommended by the, see here, important name, Santhanam Committee. Okay, Santhanam Committee on Prevention of Corruption. Actually, what happened that during 1960s, matters of corruption, okay, was rising. Okay, was rising actually during 1960s. So, Government of India thought that it is important to set up a body which will look mainly for corruption, okay, which will prevent corruption, okay, which will remove this barrier of society, that is corruptional part. Okay, so that's why the Government of India set up a committee. That committee named is Santhanam Committee. Okay, Santhanam Committee, and Santhanam Committee has given its report to the Government of India, and after that report the Government of India set up CBI. Okay, this is the whole process behind setting up Central Bureau of Investigation, that is CBI. Fine. So this is really an important committee, Santhanam Committee. Okay, any committee will set up not by itself. First of all, Government of India has set up that committee, any committee. After that, okay, generally, otherwise Supreme Court also set up committee on some matters, but that is exceptional one. Okay, after setting up those committees by Government of India, these committees, after preparing the report, submit its report to which one? Submit its report to the Government of India. And after that, if Government of India will feel that yes, this report is so fine that we should go ahead with this report, then a government will take its action. So this is the thing. which is simple. Okay, it doesn't recommend more things that I will need to teach you. Okay, so fine, it is over. So should I move to the next one? I am moving to the next slide. So let's see. The CBI is not a statutory body. CBI is not a constitutional body. It is okay because it was set up in 1963. Even and nor CBI was a statutory body because I already told you. See, Home Ministry comes under Union Cabinet or not? Definitely yes. Home Ministry comes under the part of Union Cabinet. Okay, Union Cabinet. So, like Niti Aayog has been set up by resolution of Union Cabinet, in the same way, this CBI was also set up by a resolution passed by Union Minister, Union Home Minister, which comes under Union Cabinet Ministership. Okay, so like Niti Aayog, this has also been set up. Later it was merged with a special police establishment. Okay, so the CBI is not a statutory body. So from where CBI derives its power? It is not a constitutional body, so it doesn't derive its power from constitution. Okay, and nor even CBI, if not CBI is not a statutory body, so CBI will not derive its power from parliament. So CBI derives its power from where? So the CBI derives its power from the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946. Remember this act. Delhi, I will teach a separate session on Delhi Police Establishment Act. Okay, that is so necessary about the Delhi special laws, rules and laws. So CBI derives its power from an act, and that act is Delhi a Special Police Establishment Act 1946. Okay, Delhi a Special Police Establishment Act, Delhi a Special Police Establishment Act 1946. Remember this one. Okay, don't confuse in the first act which I will told you in the first or second slide and this one. Don't confuse in it. If you are confusing in it, again see this video same for starting 2 or 3 minutes. Then it will be clear to all of you. So I hope it is clear to all of you that it is not a constitutional, not a statutory body. It is a body set up by a resolution passed by cabinet minister, that is Union Home Minister. Later it was transferred to Ministry of Personnel, merged with which one? Police Establishment Act. Okay, but it derives its power. CBI derives its power from Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946. So I hope it is clear. This is the overview of CBI. So moving to the next one. See, the CBI provides assistance to the Central Vigilance Commission and Lokpal also. What is Lokpal? What is Lokayukt? I will all teach in separate sessions in the same means polity session, but in separate topics. That is also important one. Lokpal and Lokayukt. Lokpal and Lokayukt is actually highlighted issue in 2013, 12, when actually a person, okay, was actually doing hunger strike for Lokpal and Lokayukt. At that time, even new government has came, but even new government has not fulfilled its promise about Lokpal and Lokayukt. Fine, that is a separate matter of debate. But CBI provides assistance, means CBI gives his assistance to a CVC. What is CVC? Central Vigilance Commission. That is a separate topic. I will teach you. But just right now, remember this fact that CBI also assists, give his means assistance to CVC and Lokpal too. Just remember this fact. Okay, I will revise the same things again in Lokpal and CVC. So if you are not getting it right now, you will get at that session. So I am moving to the next slide. So let's see. There is a difference between the nature of cases investigated by NIA, that is National Investigation Agency, and CBI. I have already told you. I have started this session with the same word. Okay, like many of the aspirants actually misunderstood this concept. Okay, and they understand that CBI, NIA, IB, okay, these kinds of agencies working procedures are same. Not at all. So what is the difference between NIA and CBI? The overview of the difference I will tell you right now. So moving to the next slide. I hope the time is not over right now. Okay, so the NIA, that is National Investigation Agency, has been constituted after the Mumbai terror attack. Have you remember Mumbai terror attack? Okay, 26th 11, okay, something like that. Okay, in Taj Hotel Taj and in other places of Mumbai. Okay, so the NIA before 2008 there was no NIA, no body like NIA has been present in India before 2008. But when Pakistan has committed this terror attack, okay, the terrorist group, okay, and helped by the Pakistan attack to our country in Mumbai, in Hotel Taj and other places, that actually shocked our nation, that shocked the whole nation. Fine. So after that terror attack, government of India thought that, okay, CBI is not going to investigate this one. There should be a separate body which will particularly for investigation related with terrorist, okay, terrorist related issues. So for those reasons, this National Investigation Agency, that is called NIA, has been set up. So it was set up in after 2008 terror attack in Mumbai, okay, for investigation of incidents of terrorist attacks, funding of terrorism, like we always blame Pakistan, that Pakistan is actually funding, Pakistan is directly not harming India, but indirectly they are funding terrorist groups. Fine, they are funding terrorist groups, and those terrorist groups are spreading, okay, different kinds of other bad things in the whole nations, at the global level. Particularly in India, we have seen many incidents, okay, like in many kinds of incidents, okay, Pathankot, and so many things, Pathankot, Uri, and even Mumbai terror attack, okay, Parliament attack. Fine, these are so many examples. So for these reasons, like funding of terrorism, that actually who is providing money to the growth of terrorism, okay. So investigation in funding of terrorism, investigation related to the terrorist attacks, okay, and other related crime. Other related crime means, here see, other related crime, actually see, this other related crime is actually provides NIA more powers, okay, because NIA will start to investigate, and if anyone will say that this not comes under your power, then NIA will say that here it is written other related crime, okay, where it is mentioned that this crime is not belongs to our source, okay. So this actually other related crimes, related crime means definitely it should be somehow terrorist, okay, somehow terrorist groups, okay, like Al Qaeda, okay, and so many things, okay, Mohammed Jais, Al Qaeda, these are some terrorist groups which are regularly affecting India after independence, and funded by which nation? I hope all of you are knowing it, okay. Right now Taliban, what is the situation going on? So there is definitely a funding, okay, funding of terrorism. No terrorism will be fulfilled its purpose because without funding. Only when any nation, any state will stand behind that terrorist group, only then that terrorist group will reach its peak level. That right now in Taliban, okay, Taliban has captured Afghanistan. The same thing, terrorist attacks, funding of terrorism. So these are things investigated by, not by CBI, but investigated by NIA, National Investigation Agency. So I hope the differences between both of them are clarified to all. Okay, now I will tell you what are the main work of CBI. I have give the detail of main work of NIA related to terrorist attacks, funding of terrorism and other related crimes. Related means same one, terrorist, but surrounding to terrorist, if any other crime is, okay, happened or in issue, then NIA will responsible for that, okay. NIA will responsible to investigate in that matter. I hope it is clear. So I am moving to the next slide. See, here it is, by mistake it has written, okay. Now let's see, whereas the CBI investigates crimes of corruption, because see, Santhanam committee has been set up because of corruption issues rises in India, okay. CBI was actually established mainly for corruption in 1963, prevention of corruption, okay, protection from doing corruption. So its main aim is to protect of doing corruption, Okay, so prevention of corruption, crime of corruption, economic offenses, like you can give the examples, Vijay Mallya, Mehul Chokshi, Nirav Modi, these kinds of names. So if there will be an investigation going on, then the investigation will be done by Central Bureau of Investigation, that is CBI, not by NIA, because that is economic offenses. He had committed economic offenses, taken loans from banks and flew away from our nation. Okay, so these are economic offenses, not terrorist related problems. So this will not be looked after by NIA. Okay, this will be looked after by CBI. And serious and organized crimes other than terrorism. See, terrorism matter will not be investigated by CBI, just remember it. Okay, it is investigated by NIA. So I hope it is clear to all of you. So I am moving to the next slide, if any other remaining. See, the CBI is required to obtain the prior approval of the central government of India. Okay, before conducting any inquiry or investigation into an offence committed by officers of the rank of joint secretary. See, there are many ranks. Okay, there are many posts are defined by ranks. So if minimum rank, if anyone minimum rank is joint secretary of central government, okay, and if CBI wants to take any action on that person, if anyone who has minimum rank of joint secretary, okay, minimum over that rank, then this is eligible for two. This condition is eligible too, but this is for minimum. Okay, okay, if CBI wants to take any action, okay, of a person that is equivalent to joint secretary or upper of joint secretary, then first of all CBI has to take its permission from central government of India, and from the permission of, after only permission of central government of India, CBI will take its action, otherwise no. If central government will deny to take the action, then CBI will not take its action. Okay, even there is interesting things that how the director of CBI elected. Okay, there is different thing. Okay, that is in news. Okay, when almost 1.5 years or 2 years earlier, when the matter of Rakesh Asthana and Alok Verma was in highlighted issue became. Okay, leader of opposition, Chief Justice of India, Prime Minister, these all are actually members who will elect director of CBI. Fine, I hope it is clear to all of you. I will teach all those in tomorrow sessions. Directors, its compositions, who are present in it. Okay, fine, I will tell all those things. But if any other remaining, I will cover, otherwise I will finish my lecture here itself. So I am moving to the next one, if anyone is remaining. No students, it's over. But one important thing, another issue that has been left, okay, that is, see, even NHRC what have, see, NHRC do its work, okay, but annual report each and every year, means per annum report is being prepared by NHRC, or if there will be any special report that prepared by NHRC, then that special report or annual report of NHRC will submit its report to central government of India. And in the same way, okay, SHRC will also present its annum report, or if there is any special report, then to a state government at the state level, particular respective state. That is the thing. Okay, that is the simple one. Okay, but it is necessary to clarify all those things. So I hope about CBI, some of the facts I have clarified it today. Okay, the remaining things I will try to cover tomorrow session. Even if there is no possible to cover tomorrow the whole things, then again 2 sessions I will take, but I hope in tomorrow session it will be finished CBI, then I will come to CVC, Central Vigilance Commission. So I will meet to all of you in tomorrow morning again. Okay, so thank you so much.